G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talks Stuff, the failures of feminism. Hot on the heels of Kathleen Kennedy's unceremoniously hasta la vista ousting, see you later alligator, the admission that the future is female was a complete and utter failure, but for a business point and a marketing point, I would like to inform you that, in fact, feminism itself is a critical failure, right? Politically, socially, economically, right? Women's rights are human rights. No, if they were human rights, it would be human rights. So straight off the bat, we can have a jolly good laugh. Fight like a girl. Oh, really? You do. But if we fought like a man, you would cry. Because we all know you need a good... And of course, mother. So what? It's a job. It's a privilege. It is not a license to reach into everyone else's pocket. Right? Each to their own, is it not? But remember, feminism, the failures of feminism has been the topic of hot debate, encompassing many debates over the last few years, including an internal debate as well as external criticisms that range from the impact on the family, its failure to be inclusive. Just let's face it, right? Feminism has become a political movement, right? It has failed in many areas, despite the fact it's so-called progress of the vote and its workplace rights. You know, that is it, right? What else have they massively achieved other than keeping women out of war while causing wars? Now, it has fallen short in many areas. Now, you can take it as an internal criticism or external criticism. But the internal criticism is that Western feminism is ideally white working class and middle class women who are dominated by upper class women such as Jane Fonda, a performer, right? A lot of the top feminists are actors, right? Actresses, they politicians, right? Who are only in it for their own personal gain. Hillary Clinton, and there's no inclusivity, right? It's not inclusive in class, right? All the leadership is privileged women with books to sell or political careers, right? They're all their lawyers looking for their next lawsuit, right? The industrial complex, particularly with Western feminism, is predominantly around atheism, Marxism, right? So it's not inclusive. It's right. It's performative, right? It's focused on girl bosses such as Hillary Clinton, Jane Fonda. It's all about elevating Gloria Steinem and other individuals. And the majority of them are privileged women who've never worked a day in their life. Not really. No, they've even had nannies. You know, they're out selling books, right? And again, feminism is divisive, right? It's you got either liberal or radical, right? You have the 4B movement. You have a breakdown, right? A breakdown, fundamentally, that it is, right? That women are in opposition to each other now. You have women, right, who are attacking other women because they claim they don't go far enough, right? You have trans exclusionary radical feminists, right? External criticism, first and foremost, is the collapse of the family, right? Now, this, you could take it either way, but you cannot deny that the rise of trad wives, particularly amongst our college-educated women, is a threat to feminism because that's their recruiting ground, right? This is why they hate Charlie Kirk. This is why they still hate Charlie Kirk, right? They hate anybody, right, who is not a complete and utter moron, who buys that you can have it all. No, life is about priorities, right? You either want to be you want to be a musician, you can't be a writer, right? Some people try everything, and what you master nothing, right? You achieve nothing, right? Now, of course, unpaid labour. Women keep talking about defining progress for women as increasing pay for so-called unpaid labour, right? Women increasingly admit they want to be paid to take care of themselves, right? They want free housework. They want nappy services. They want food deliveries. They want everything handed to them, right? They want mouse utopia. They want to sit in their apartment and and press the buzzer and a pellet drops from the roof into their little hands. They want to be caged mice, right? Pushing men away. Most women hate the antagonism towards men, right? Their brothers, their husbands, their boyfriends, all come under attack by these radicals they don't even know, who want to co-opt their life, right? And turn you, right? They keep saying that feminism is focusing on the individual, but it doesn't. It's focused on, tries to get the collective, right, to focus on a few individuals like Hillary Clinton, Gloria Steinem, and Jane Fonda, right? Who else is there, right? Name a female politician today right? They're all right-wing, right? Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Japan. Sorry, I can't remember your name. But, most women in politics who succeed happen to be right-wing. Or it's because they're right-wing. Up to you. But most left-wing women, what are they? They're idiots, they're ridiculed, they're mocked, but they're supported by other women and constantly pushed there simply because they are women, right? Continually bleating about feminism and progress. Meanwhile, young women who want a traditional man in their life because it excites them, it thrills them, it gives them joy, cannot enjoy their life because they're constantly harassed by the increasingly sad, mentally ill feminist, right? Feminism is the most sad, most privileged, and the most abusive, right? You look at 76% of divorces are feminist, right? Divorced, right? Lesbian relationships, the most abusive, right? And the shortest lived, right? Women get very unsatisfied with lesbianism very quickly, right? And they're constantly pushing men away. And then what do? Denmark, they actually want to force men to actually do these volunteer organisations to go out and do things for women that they can't do. So they admit they need men, right? But they want to do it. They want to use the force of government, right? Privilege. Women to take care of themselves. I need a plumber. Send me a plumber. Send me a man to fix my pipes. When he comes in and she's holding up a skirt, he says, "Oh, geez, lady, I haven't got a big enough plunger." But the movement, of course, is all about soft power, right? Manipulation, bullying tactics, prioritizing trivial issues like language policing, while more global issues are ignored, swept under the rug, especially genital mutilation, forced marriage, and high mortality rate amongst women in third world countries. Why are they pushed under the rug? Because they don't want to address the major cause of that, which is Islam, who is their political ally. But of course they won't be political allies for long. Once Islam takes over, they will be put into a burqa and whipped like dogs, or beheaded, right? Or stoned to death, right? Increasing domestic violence. What they won't tell you is who. They blame the patriarchy, but the patriarchy, just a bunch of white men who don't want anything to do with you. So it can't be us who's beating you because as you go burning coal, chasing brown dick. You know what I mean, right, ladies? You're out there trying to prove us wrong about Islam. And you never come back. Alive, that is. Or never seen or heard from again. Right? But, and I've heard this, and it's not just me, it's not just mgtow's opinion, it's most people's opinion now that feminism was co-opted always was about the corporation, right? Feminism came from white papers out of Carnegie and Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, right? It's always been a movement about turning everything into a for-profit, right? Taxing women, right? Selling women more, right? Clothes, right? In order to sell more clothes, sell more shoes, sell more jewelry, sell more flowers. But here's the thing, right? St. Valentine's Day was co-opted, folks. So, you know what the Feast of Valentine's is? The commitment to love, right? It's actually about St. Valentine's commitment to the church. He refused to recant the church. It was a feast in his celebration for his noble sacrifice, and instead you turn it to about Cupid and other Roman religious ceremonies, right? The gynocentric worship, right? So these diverse criticisms do not come from any one direction. A lot of them actually come from feminism itself, right? That there is a lot of people who have activist fatigue. They're sick of the bullying from feminism, right? They can't, right? They cannot go to college, earn a degree, and go to work, right? They have to fill some quota, some DEI hire. If you're white, you have to give your job to a black person, and it's never ending performance, right? Why? Yeah, black people have their own country. Why can't we, right? Why do we have to constantly sacrifice? Well, that comes down to Judaism and Moloch. Moloch literally means sacrifice, right? And the Jewish obsession with getting the West to constantly humiliate, bow and scrape to them, right? Again, like you look at feminism, right? Before feminism, you had a huge rise in what? Buying cut flowers, buying jewelry, happy wife, happy life, right? All this pandering to women, right? Sorry, something just bit me on the ear, right? All this pandering to women. Why? Because Jews are a matriarchy, right? Can't be a Jew if your mother's not a Jew. If you're not considered a Jew if your mother's not Jewish, and your mother had to be, and your grandmother, and so forth, right? And again, there's this argument about Israel, and it's like, Jews are breaking up as well. They're is it so many Jewish women now want to marry Christian men? It's not funny, right? You can actually look it up. Christian singles, Jewish women. You can look it up. Jewish women looking for Christian husbands, right? Israel is full of Jews who constantly spit and hate on Christians, but their wives and daughters and their husbands are leaving them. Right? Even their mothers are leaving them, right? Israel is going to be, by 2050, Israel's just going to be majority man. That's not a good sign, right? That's a death sentence, right? So while their population is rising, it's predominantly men, right? And their females are leaving, right? They can't stand it anymore, right? They can't stand all the performance, all the rituals and all the stuff they don't believe in, right? They're sick of the secrets and the lies and the hypocrisy, right? Telling everybody how much they love humanity and then spit on Christians, right? And yet, they keep telling us we have to worship the Jew. Why? Because Christ was a Jew. No, he wasn't. If Christ was a Jew, he'd be preaching Judaism. You can argue with me. I don't care, right? I'll still be your friend, bro. I'll still be your friend, right? I love you. I love you all to death. Right, we agree that we just don't like feminism, and that feminism is Judaism, right? And feminism is Judaism, right? That's basically communism in dress, right? Communism is just Judaism, right? Doesn't take long to figure it all out, but most people just don't want to face reality. And the reality is feminism is failing. It's failing women on many fundamental levels. It's failed to achieve there's no life goals in feminism for it's always progressive, right? It's always more, right? So there's no life goals, right? So for people who hate capitalism, they're obsessed with greed, right? They're obsessed with money, always wanting more rights, privileges, of course. But they call them rights. Everything we want is a human right. Everything you have is is privilege, right? So you have hypocrisy, greed, envy, avarice is actually the worship of gold, apparently. It's an old Roman word. Apparently these days, though, it is assumed with the love of gold, but it's actually the worship of gold. So you have all these things, right? Feminism predominantly, and I had an interesting conversation today on another channel, and here's a perspective that I did not pick up before, that feminism is a mating call for the lesbians, right? For the radical lesbian. But research since 2023, research institutions who work for big government and big corporations have been looking, particularly sociology, into feminism and its collapse, right? How do we prevent feminism from collapsing? It is in freefall, right? Less and less women identify as a feminist, right? Less and less feminist activities, right? Remember the Pussy Hat Parade? Where's their follow-up, right? How many people care about Madonna? Then they found out it was just to sell an album, right? Again, big disappointment, but to me, no surprise whatsoever. Modern feminism is just performative, right? It's like all these virtue signaling actors and actresses, right? Every time they got a movie out, well, wow, Liam Neeson's on out doing ads for the United Nations. What's the bet? He's coming out with a new movie, right? Anybody want to bet? Want to win $1? Want to win this dollar right here in my hand? This imaginary dollar, right? But I need every dollar I can. So please, don't take that bet. But it's just a rhetorical question, please. But the thing is, social outcomes are the biggest problem, right? Feminism hasn't stopped social violence, it's increased it. Why? Women take it out on each other, right? They take out their anger and frustrations out on each other in lesbian relationships, right? They get angry and frustrated because they're not satisfied. Turns out women need a man to keep them sane, to keep them grounded, to keep them humble, right? Someone to stand up to them, right? But that's what they do. Any standing up to a woman is considered domestic abuse, right? You say no to a woman, she goes to court and says, he didn't give me my human rights. Yeah, again, this is the problem, right? Where we have too much government interference, too many criticisms, but not enough solutions, okay? And the solution is actually quite simple. More and more women abandon feminism, become trad wives, say, yeah, if I fuck up, right there, lay one out on me, and you bet, right, if women actually did that, how many men would come home and just want to sit on the couch and think of nothing? By the way, this is actual fact. Men are capable of thinking of nothing. Sit back, relax, and they say, what you're thinking of? Nothing. And it drives women mad because we're the only ones capable of doing it. We actually have a null space. They don't, right? We concept, right? Zero. We have a concept of zero. Women don't. They have to fill the void every time, right? That's why in a relationship, it's always about her talking and expressing her feelings. When men just go back, yeah, I had a feeling. What is it? Well, it's either horny or hungry. Right? Which is it, right? It's either make me a sandwich or suck my dick, right? But what is it with women? It's, I want my pie hole licked. But you have to guess I want my pie hole licked. It's like, wow, you've been dropping hints, right? What hints? Oh, they leave magazines all over the house. They leave their underwear all over the house. They leave their shitty stained underwear all over the house. I mean, it's disgusting, some of the things women want, but they're too embarrassed and too afraid. But it's mostly humiliation rituals. They need an excuse to start an argument. Here's one. Although often it's men's fault, yes. I started an argument with my wife the other day. What's the argument? Well, she asked what's on TV and I said dust. So I woke up in the hospital. I think I got hit by a pan. Right? But that's the reality, right? And it's a 1970s joke, but a reality, right? Domestic abuse is primarily women lashing out. And they won't tell you the truth, right? How many kids are in hospital today? Far too many. Why? Increasingly single mothers taking out their frustrations on their sons and daughters, right? They beat their daughters because they won't conform, right? Or they beat the sons just because they remind them of their father, right? Women are increasingly violent, right? Well, the general murder rate's going down. Women's homicides are going up slightly, right? but they won't kill you. It's mostly women who are doing it to each other. And of course, the diversity, cultural enrichment, right? Again, women will not admit they're wrong, right? Accountability. Again, right? That's what it's all about. Free from unwanted attention. Unwanted attention. The law enforcement looking into your relationships with underage boys. Yeah, that's... yeah. See, again, right? And girls. Don't forget the abuse of women is predominantly by other women, particularly in colleges these days, right? Easy A. Anybody remember that? Right? The Easy A solution, right? How many people since the 60s got a college degree because they went the Easy A route? And I guarantee you most people have heard of it and don't believe it, but suspect it all along, right? How many women snidely remark, oh, I bet she got ahead by giving head, right? But it's a fact. Right? Should be legal. Should be legal. Up and down, right? It should. Sexual harassment, whatever you want to call it, you should have no recourse, right? You walk into the office, sign a piece of paper, strip off, let them have their way, and that's it, right? You want something that bad, you sell your body. Nope. Nobody's going to complain. Nobody's going to care, right? Just own it, right? Own the fact that you are a whore, right? And I guarantee you, right? You don't have any self-respect anyway, so why should you care that other people will never respect you? Because they don't anyway. They won't. They know you've done it, right? Other women can smell it on you, right? We may not be able to smell it. Other women can actually smell when women have had sex, and with a man, they can smell the difference. So don't tell me, right, that when women say she got ahead by sleeping around, trust me, they know. They can tell. They know what post-orgasm face looks like. Actually, women get turned on often by post-orgasm face. It sort of, they love to sit there and blush in the mirror. Because it allows them to relive, of course, the thrill, right? That's so many women, right? What are they chasing? They're not chasing their first love. They're chasing the feeling of their first orgasm. Again, this is failure of feminism, right? Failure to teach women reality, right? That's why women have such a huge disconnect. That's why they eventually swear off sex, but they're desperate for it, right? They start displacing their feelings by putting all their love in animals. And you say, enjoy your wine and cats. And you have Helen Mirren with a cat going, oh, yes, I will. Cope and seethe, right? Cope and seethe. Right, but what's the reality? Well, the reality is most men are...
Right turn, Clyde.
And most women, even Jordan Peterson's daughter, didn't get enough spanking as a child. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Please support the channel and support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. All my links are in the link tree description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Now, my Patreon, $1 a month. Come on, cough up, please. And, yeah, my book, $3.99. Come on, man. ProWritingAid, Power Games, Into the Elsbound. Now, I'm not gonna justify my books. I wrote them. I know what's in them. And trust me, it's far more nuanced than just a simple little boy becomes emperor story, right? It's the tale of the empire. It's a tale of power and the reality of what it takes to have power, yield power, and hold power. See you in the next video, and bye for now.